Welcome to the Friends in Training podcast. Life is a marathon with your host, Marcela Todd, right there. I'm not Marcela Todd. I'm Brian Boyd. Marcela, why am I here today?
Hi, Brian, and hello, everybody. Brian, you are here because you are a big part of this podcast, which has been a dream of mine for a while now. And you're helping me out, and your lovely wife, Fran, too, are a big, big part of this. So I want you to be here on our very first episode. Thank you, Brian.
Well, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to help you launch this because you have an amazing story. We're going to ask a few questions and our hope today for those of you listening to this podcast and watching is to learn a little bit about Marcella Todd. So that's what we're going to do today. She has
All right.
no idea what the questions are. I prepared them in advance and we'll just see how it goes. But first, let's learn a little bit about Marcella. Marcella, you've run 80 marathons, 81 marathons. You've run
Yes.
over 200 half marathons, and you also are the manager. You run, you oversee Friends in Training, a running group in Florida. Tell us what's Friends in Training. What does that mean? Or tell us about that group.
Yes, absolutely. So, Friends in Training Fit, it's a marathon and half marathon training program based out of Broward County in Florida. We have four different locations. Our headquarters are in Fort Lauderdale, and then we also have one in Hollywood, Weston, Coral Springs. And basically, what we do, we've been actually celebrating this year 28 years.
Wow.
And yes, it's been an amazing journey, but more than a running group, I find that Fit is more like a family,
Yeah.
and we call Friends in Training for a reason. And we create really great relationships and friendships. And we travel together around the world to do these crazy marathons. And one thing that I enjoy um, the most is actually helping people to get from like step 1 to
Right.
26.2 miles and be there at the finish line for them. And it's been an amazing experience.
Well, you've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through Friends in Training, and I'll just anecdotally say that I'm one of your success stories. I'll say I didn't start running till I turned 50, and I know it's hard to believe I'm over 50. I know everyone's thinking that right now, but since I joined Friends in Training, I've run 5 marathons.
Wow.
And I never thought I'd run a marathon. So I am personally thankful to you and Marcella and the Friends in Training, the Fit crew. But let's go back to your running.
Yes.
So you've run 81 marathons. You've run 200 half marathons. That means you've willingly wanted to experience the wall all of those times, 300 and plus times. Why do you keep choosing the wall?
Brian, you're not gonna believe this, but this wall everybody talks about, I don't really, I don't really, in my all my experience, it's not really that familiar to me. I enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's that I don't push myself as hard to the point where I'm like, oh, I enjoy my journey. I take
Yeah.
pictures along the way. I smile and talk to people. And it's been such a great journey that it just keeps bringing me back and back. So, all the wall, I mean, I know the wall is there. I have experienced it maybe a few times, especially during my ultra marathons. Because, yes, I'm also an ultra marathoner. I've done a
Wow.
100 miler and about 450 milers and a 50K. And in that 50K, I definitely hit the wall.
So what do you think the wall is? If someone's listening, they don't know what that is. What is the wall?
I think it's a point where you find yourself like you gave it your all. You still have a long way to go and you feel like you're done. You're not
Yeah.
feeling great. Sometimes people, feel sick to their stomach. There might be a little throwing up involved. It's not a fun place to be. But this podcast is called Life is a Marathon. And in life, we do hit the wall quite a few times. So I have to say that the marathon journey and the
Yeah.
life uh I do think that life is a marathon. We have our great miles, happy miles. Then we have those miles where we feel like we're dragging a little. Then we have those miles where we hit the wall and we're like, oh my God, I'm done, and I still have all this to do and to go. And actually that's the reason why this podcast started, because life is a marathon.
So I know you like to take pictures. You talked about it a second ago. You like to run. You like to take pictures. I remember chasing you and my wife around the Paris Marathon not too long ago,
Yes.
and I know you're always taking pictures along the way. But there's probably a thought or two around mile 21, mile two that you don't want to put on Instagram. What's the most honest, it's time to be honest, Marcella. What's the
Yes.
most honest thought you've had at mile 22 that you would never put on Instagram?
Oh, Brian, it was in the Tokyo Marathon. It
Okay,
was
here we
let me
go.
say the story. So in Tokyo, first of all, I have to say running has taken me so many beautiful places. And just like
Yeah,
you, I also thought I would never run a marathon. When I was invited to join Friends in Training, um, I'm like, marathons, that's for elite people. I don't do that. And I came and I did it anyway, but it has taken me so many places, and Tokyo was one of them, which I actually went with your lovely wife friend. We had a great time. So the Tokyo Marathon has this cutoff times at the beginning, and so they say that they have 7 hours to finish. But at the
right,
beginning, they have this cutoff time. So you have to move along. Otherwise, you might get cut off, right?
right.
So it was around mile 6 and I had to go to the bathroom so bad. Oh my God. And I'm like, I can't because I need to keep moving until I'm safe, that they're not gonna pick me up. So that place was like after mile 16, if I remember correctly. It was a long way to go. And I'm like going, holding. But I have to say, one thing that I loved about Tokyo when I got there is like the bathrooms had these toilet seats that had all these little buttons, right? And you sit down,
No,
it was actually warm, warm, and it made noises and it had all these things. So I'm thinking, okay, finally, when I get through that cut of time, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I get to relax a little and enjoy my sitting. Oh, Brian, and I finally got to the bathroom. And then when I got in, there was a volunteer that she didn't speak English. And obviously I didn't speak Japanese, but she probably saw my facial
yeah,
expression that I was in a big hurry. And so she calls me up and she takes me to this little park. And then I find this building and I'm like looking forward to sitting down and just relax. And Brian, then I found this hole in the ground and I was
no.
at mile 22
That's a
and
lot
the
of information,
Spanish.
Marcella.
Oh my God. So that was it. That was my moment.
So marathons aren't roses and happy times, all 20s. So and for those of you, I've gotten asked before, how long is a marathon? It's 26.2 miles.
That's right.
And it's always 26.2 miles for those of you who are listening. It's never anything different. It's a marathon, that's what it is. You've been in a lot of different countries, Marcella.
Yes.
Are you ever standing in line at the starting line in a foreign country and you're thinking, I really shouldn't be here today? Like, why am I here?
Yes, and I can tell you when and exactly why. It was in Switzerland, quite a few years ago, actually. So I went with some friends for a bike tour through Switzerland. It was an 11 days on the bike. I mean, Switzerland is pretty hilly, Brian, pretty hilly.
Sure.
And there were times where I had to get off my bike and just push the bike up the hill because I just couldn't handle that hill. But it was beautiful, and I enjoy my biking experience. And little that you know, we had also signed up for the Geneva Marathon at the end of that bike journey. So it was 11 days biking, and here I am. My legs are in fire. They're so sore. And I'm standing at the start of the Geneva Marathon after we finished our bike journey. My legs were in yellow like this. I was like, what am I doing here? How am I going to do this? Oh my God. I can tell you that that was probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever done, but we did it.
That's awesome.
We can do hard things, Brian. We can do hard
I
things.
Yeah, we're gonna pivot a little bit and talk about friends and training because, as I mentioned before, I was 50 when I first started running, and I think you when you stepped into leadership at Friends and Training, it had already
Mhm.
been running before? It had already been in existence, correct?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
joined, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years after they had started.
Okay. How long ago was that? What year was that approximately, or how long
Oof,
was
that was
that?
28 years ago.
Okay, okay. So you stepped into leadership at Friends in Training. Here's the question. What did you think you were taking on when you stepped into leadership, and what do you think you underestimated?
That's a big question. Well, first of all, when I joined, so we had a great coach. His name is John Hall. He moved to Arizona actually, and
Mhm.
he was gonna close Friends in Training because he was moving, and so it was me and a very dear friend, Sherry Borick, and obviously my friend, my dearest Veronica Verito, that we
We'll
lost.
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, unfortunately. And then eventually Audrey came on board and we're like, no, we can't let this go, you know? So we told him, hey, listen, we'll do it from here. You can talk to us from there. And at this point, this whole virtual thing was like far away.
Right, right.
So that was very new to us. And we tried for a couple years and then it was just too hard because we needed him to make decisions and he was far away. And, at the end of the day, I say, you know what, it's too much. And I'm just gonna, um, after a while, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he said, well, listen, you can take the leadership if it's you. You know what I mean? Like if it's gonna be you, I'll just let you, take over. I'm like, oh, okay. How am I gonna do this? Thankfully, I did have, other people around, especially Veronica and Audrey and Sherry stayed for a little while too. And we made it happen. But I think that one of the reasons, Brian, that this program has been so successful, I mean, it's because of well, first of all, the God sends us beautiful people and our team is
Yeah.
just amazing with the people. But I think it's also because we love it and we have a passion for it. And what I mean, our mission is to change lives one step at a time. And we get to
And
do that.
And you've got Friends in Training. By the way, if you're listening and you want to learn more about Friends in Training, just visit friendsintraining.net. That's
That's right.
friendsintraining.net. And it is a South Florida, US program. So if you're in Seattle or Los Angeles, it probably won't mean quite as much, but I'm sure you have similar groups in your areas where you guys are listening to today. You can find it. So the people that join friendsintraining.net or Friends in Training or FIT as we call it,
Uh-huh.
are they all amazing marathoners and they run sub 3 hour marathons?
Not all of them.
What?
Which is one of my beautiful things because Brian, I tell you that I was there myself. Like I was like, I'm not an elite athlete. I'm not very fast. How can I do this? And I think that's one of the beautiful things about fit is like we have just all these everyday people. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a job.
Sure.
Nobody's a professional athlete. I mean, we do have some people that are competitive, don't get me wrong. And some Boston qualifiers and all that. But I think that fit is for everybody. And if you think that you cannot do it, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you
You
can.
can. You've had a few success stories. What did France and Training teach you about yourself that you were prepared to see?
Wow. Brian, that's a big question. So, friends in training has taught me so many things, really, so many valuable life lessons. Number one is that we're not here to do life alone. And the people that we have around us, our team, we have a wonderful leadership team. We have coaches and assistant coaches that do it also with love. You know what I mean? So it's like we're not here to be a loner and just do things on our own. We need people around us. And so, on the management side, the importance of having the key people around you and with the members themselves. So, the same way we have some people that are there for us, we are there for the people. And the interesting thing is that those people then later are there for other people.
Sure.
And it's just an amazing thing. So I guess that's one thing that I've learned, that we're not here to do life alone. Number two, I've also learned, Brian, that we can do hard things, as I mentioned before. Yeah, you might think that some things are possible, but if you put your heart and soul into it and your mind and you do the work and everything, you can do it. So dreams can come true. And number three, I think that I've also learned a lot about resilience because obviously running marathons is not an easy
Mhm.
thing. And as I mentioned, talking about the marathon of life and the marathon journey, running in general can teach us so many things about discipline, about, don't not quitting, about being
Right,
persistent and consistent.
right.
And same thing in life, in the marathon of life is the same thing, don't give up. Don't give up. It's okay to take a break. We practice interval training, right? So we push, we recover. We push, we recover. In life, it's the same. You push and you get tired and you need a little break. It's okay. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to, look around and whatever. Then just get back to it. So the message is don't give up.
I think that's a good point. I think even in life, if you're looking for a job, if you're hiring people, for instance, let's say if I was going to hire a new employee for my company, I would look at a marathon runner in their hobbies and say this might be a good candidate because you have to train, you have to
Mm-hmm.
set realistic goals, you have to complete something, right?
Right.
Typically, people don't just get up on a Saturday and run a marathon, right? I'm assuming maybe you could do that, but don't you want to train a little bit? What's the training like for a 26-mile marathon? Is it 6 months? Is it 10 years? Real briefly, what is it like to start training for a marathon?
Well, our program is a 6 month program. So normally
Six
when we're
months,
gonna
okay.
do, yeah, and we start very conservative. We start with 3 miles and then we build up every mile. We
And you
have
said interval before, so is that like running full speed for 3 miles, or is it a run walk? What's it like when if no one's ever run before? So let's say they're healthy enough to run, but they've never done it before.
Yes. So I can say that no run is ever the same. And
Yes,
we have
okay.
our long runs and then we have our tempo runs and our track workouts. But on Saturdays, which is our formal day that we meet in Fort Lauderdale, or Sundays in Hollywood, that's what we call our long run. And that run should be run at a pace that's comfortable. It should be able to have a conversation. And that's why we
Okay.
always ask our coaches and assistant coaches, talk to people, not only to find out and bond and, we also use that time as therapy session, but
That's
also
right.
to see their fitness level and how it is. And we have so many different groups and different pace groups that people can always fit in. And if one day you don't feel great and you want to go with a little slower group, you can certainly transition and still do your workout and not as an intense level maybe. And so when I mentioned the intervals, so we have different groups. So we have walkers,
Mhm.
and they're just long distance walkers. We have
Sure,
a
because you
group.
can walk a marathon, right, Marcella? You don't have
Absolutely.
to run a marathon.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah,
Although you have
and
to move along a little bit. You have to move a little clip, I'm assuming.
you
Yeah,
do. I
yeah,
know, and I can tell you, Brian, I admire our walkers because, oh my God,
yeah.
walking is hard, and you're
Well,
there
and
for a long
actually
time.
that means you're on your feet longer too, which is
That's
also a
right.
negative.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly. So
I'd say to those of you listening too, let me just take a little aside. If you're considering running a marathon, if you're considering training, joining fit or another group, just check with your doctors, check with your health folks to make sure that you are, you're doing okay for running. Marcella and I aren't doctors, and we certainly want to make sure you, as a runner or as an athlete, check with your own physician. So be sure and do that before you start that. I'm going to say too. You talked about coaches and those who are. You didn't say psychologists, but who you talk to. There's
we're
there's
not
probably three or
psychologists.
four well, there's a few people that I've enjoyed it helped me get in my marathon training. There
Yeah.
was, of course, my wife Fran is an amazing marathoner and has been an amazing person by my side. Mike has been an amazing trainer for me. Mike, you know who you are, and Ron, you have
Oh,
been
Ron, we miss
amazing to
you.
me. And Maria, you got me through New
Yeah.
York. So Maria,
Aw.
so you're right, Marcella. Sometimes you get a trainer or a coach or someone along your side who helps you when you hit those miles that are pretty tough.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And the same is true for life too. If you ever need, any support in any areas and reach out. Don't do life alone. That's important. Also, Brian, to your point, which is very valid, and you should definitely check with the doctor before you start any kind of exercise program. But
Right.
yeah, you don't have to start with a marathon. You can start with a 5K. If you're not active right now, if you're not running right now, start with a 5K. Let that be your goal. You can do walk, you can run walk, or you can go, go a little faster, whatever your pace is that makes you, feel comfortable. Yeah, it's challenge and it challenges you so that you can reach that finish line. That's totally fine, and eventually, little by little, you can get to your
Mhm.
marathon goal.
That's great. Yeah, I've got a few 5K shirts and couple 5K medals I've gotten, and I
There you
love
go.
those.
Yeah,
So
my
you've had a go ahead, sorry.
uh, I'm sorry, Brian. I was gonna say my dearest friend Audrey. She didn't do a 5K or a 10K or a half marathon. She went for the New York City Marathon for her race, first race.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so and I know a few people that have done that. I did the 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, ultra
Yeah.
marathon, up to 100 miles. So,
And
um,
I'll tell you, if you are a runner and you've accomplished the training, there is an interesting run series in Disney World. There's probably other ones, but I'm thinking of one in Disney World. It's called is it called the Dopey Challenge,
it
Marcella?
is. Yeah, yeah, it
And
is.
it's a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Friday, a half marathon on Saturday, and a full marathon on Sunday.
That's right.
And you have to do all so you have to do all 4 in a row.
And you have to pay a lot of money for it.
That's a lot of money too. All right. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the people that have come through Friends in Training. You've had hundreds
Oh,
and hundreds of
Brian.
people come through Friends in Training. You've seen them
Yes.
like me. I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am now when I first started Friends in Training. And
Proud of you,
can you
Brian, for
thank you.
getting
It's not about me though. This isn't about me. This is about you. Um, ca Marcella, can you tell me about someone whose journey through Friends in Training changed you more than it changed them?
Wow, Brian. Oof, so many. Oh, it's been 28 years, and every year there's somebody who changes my, my perspective and encourages me and everything. I can say I can talk about one recent one, and that's Luis Tovar, Luchito.
Mm.
He started with us.
Lucho.
Lucho, that's right. He started with us, and he was overweight, and every time he ran, Veronica was his coach, and every time we finished a run, I would look at her and I was like, oh my God, is he gonna make it? Because he always looks so tired. Oh my God, Brian, and you look at him now, he's won so many races. He, um he won actually our race, our winter extravaganza. He won the Western Half Marathon.
Mhm.
He's doing great. He's doing amazing. And so, um, what that has done for me is, I just appreciate the fact that, and one thing he always tells me this, he always tells me, I'm here because of what you did. And he was going to give up. One time he was going to give up, and I said, no, Luchito, no. And I actually got him a pair of shoes. And it was like Cinderella. That
Oh,
pair of shoes changed his life. Yes.
sure.
And yeah, so it touches my heart, and it encourages me to keep going, keep going, keep going, and just keep making a difference in people's lives.
And you mentioned Veronica a few times, one of your,
Oh, yes.
folks on your team. Tell us about Veronica. Who was Veronica?
Oh my God, Brian. Veronica was my rock. So Veronica actually was with Friends in Training almost as long as I was, maybe a couple years
Wow.
less.
Sure.
She an amazing coach, very special. There's so much I can say about her. I love her. I miss her. Unfortunately, last year, she had a brain aneurysm, and
Yeah.
we lost her.
Yeah.
And it's such a big loss, such a big loss. And I just want to say that for everybody who's listening, Veronica did everything right. She exercised, she, ate right. She was very disciplined with all her things. And we just never know. But what we
Mhm.
know about brain aneurysms is that sometimes you can be born with them. It could be generic things that you don't know. So I guess my biggest takeaway from all this is just enjoy every single day of your life, because you just never
Sure.
know when your day is gonna come. And I think about her every day. I miss her. I talk to God about, I'm like, God, please tell Benito this, and this.
Sure.
yeah, last year we had our first Palm Beach Marathon without her. Then this year, first Miami Marathon without her. First day when so it's very, very hard. So when we talk about life is a marathon and we have, great miles and not so great miles, losing Verito has been some of my toughest miles in my marathon of life.
Sure. Sure. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Do you think there was ever a moment, Marcella, where you questioned yourself whether you were the right person to lead Friends in Training?
Wow, Brian, that's a good question. I don't know that I've ever asked that question to myself, but what I
So
do know,
you're driven to do this. This is something that you
yeah.
yeah.
And it's so interesting because it's hard. It's hard. And sometimes it gets to me and I get tired and I'm like, and then I think, well, somebody has to do it. Right? So I'm like, it might as well be me. But the interesting thing, Brian, is that when I'm facing those moments, I get a little story. Somebody sends me a message saying, "You changed my life," or "Thank you for doing all that you do," or, and it's like God knows that I need to hear these things right
Yeah.
at that moment, and He sends them. And so, I actually feel that this is kind of like a ministry, like a mission. It's something that God has given
Sure, you're
me.
changing people,
Huge.
physically and emotionally. Yeah, you're having a big impact on
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. And one more thing is I think that Friends in Training, it's such an amazing thing because we get to create a positive impact on people's lives. We make them
right.
smile. People get to meet other people. I mean, the friendships that you create, as we talked about before. And there's so much more than just the running. It really is. It's a life journey. And I do feel like it's my mission, I guess.
That's
And
great.
so, yeah, so I do it with
That's good.
love.
That's good. Well, just I have a couple last questions for you. But is there a question that you wish people would ask you about leading Friends in Training that people don't ask?
I guess maybe I would just like to for people to realize that it's not easy, and that I'm so grateful that I'm not on this all by myself. I mean, Denise has been
Sure.
amazing. My Audrey has always been there for me. I'm just saying Denise because right now she's in Fort Lauderdale. Audrey is taking
Mhm.
care of Hollywood, but Audrey has been amazing. Denise, and there's so many people. I mean, I could, list them all. But
So
if you
many
guys are
people.
listening and you're part of the Friends in Training leadership team, let me tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I love you, how much our members love you, and we could not do this without you. So thank you for what you do.
It's great. We found Friends in Training, my wife Frances and I, when we had just moved to South Florida, and I think we were on A1A, which is the road right by the ocean,
Yeah.
and we saw some people in yellow shirts, like the one you're wearing right now.
Yes,
And I think on the back, oh, there it is on the shirt. It says "Friends in Training," and we
that's
looked it
right.
up, and now I think we're friends. So that's good. I guess that's a good.
Definitely.
Okay,
Not only
so
that, but we've traveled the world together. We've been to the
we
Berlin
actually have. It's been
world.
an amazing
We've
way to
been to
see the world. I think
Paris.
I think my wife has said that too, Marcella, and maybe you can comment on this. The fun thing about running a marathon or a 5K in any part of the country or the world is that you see that part of the world in a different way because you're on your feet. You're not in a car, right? Don't
That's
you
right.
experience it differently?
Absolutely, absolutely. Is that's the right way to tour a city by foot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. We my wife and I ran the Mumbai India Marathon a few years ago,
Oh,
and we got to run on roads that only cars go on, that pedestrians never go on, and so, well, I do that. Okay, as we wrap up this wonderful introduction to the Friends in Training podcast, put on your thinking cap. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened at a marathon to you? As you've run marathons all around the world, surely there's something along the way that was hilarious or funny or maybe even embarrassing. You can tell me. No one's listening, so you can tell me. Go ahead, tell me.
All right, so it didn't happen to me personally, but it happened to a very close friend of mine at the time. We've lost touch a little bit, but this was actually in the Disney marathon,
Okay, Disney
and
Marathon. Yep.
it was also a bathroom emergency,
Oh,
and it
what's
was
all
a
these bathroom
long.
emergencies, Marcella?
I know. There was a long line, long, long,
Yeah.
long. She couldn't wait. So she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go behind the bushes." And she went behind the bushes, and little that she knew there was a big highway behind her.
Oh, no.
When she starts hearing beep, 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 beep. Oh my God, that story is hilarious. I always think about it
Well,
and it makes me laugh. It happens.
yeah, and maybe that's another episode, but the prep and training for a marathon and the days up to the marathon, it's a whole different thing. So we'll talk about
Yes.
that later. Um, the the last question I have for you, Marcella, and I think you're gonna have a great podcast series here
Thank
is
you.
what has running revealed about Marcella? What has marathon running and training and even I know your day job involves health and fitness too. But what
Yes.
has it revealed about you as a person?
Oh, Brian, I I guess my answer is very simple. We can do all things in Christ who strengthens us. I think that I mean, looking back at all the things, Pikes Peak Marathon, which is the ultimate uh American Ultimate Challenge, one of the hardest.
Mhm.
You've been there.
Sure is. Yeah.
Fran has been there too. I've done it, I don't know how many times, but it's been quite a few. The ultra running, like all these things that are hard, that really push our limits, just makes me realize I'm stronger than I think. And I'm here to tell you, you are also stronger than you think. We can do our
That's right.
things. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this is going to be a great podcast series. This is the Friends in Training podcast. Life is a Marathon with Marcela Todd. And thank you, Marcel, for letting me talk to you as you embark on this great new venture. And we're excited. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to follow along, you can subscribe anywhere podcasts are found: Apple,
Yeah.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and so on. And so subscribe and tell a friend about the Friends in Training podcast. Thank you very much, Marcella.
Thank you, Brian. And I just want a couple more things to add. I want to say that we're going to have some great guests also. And so I want to invite you and encourage you. And if you find an episode that you love, share it, just like Brian just said. Also, follow us on social media. We have a Facebook page, Friends in Training, and also Instagram at Friends in Training. We are providing some really good content. And we just want you to be part of our community and be part of our fit family. Whether you're here in South Florida or not, from whatever you are, you can still follow us. And we want to encourage you, and we want to let you know that you're not alone. Life is not for you to just be alone and just make it on your own. We're here for you, and yeah, just be encouraged.
Thank you, Marcella.
Thank you, Brian.